Bonginkosi Khanyile sentenced to 10 years in prison, a turning point in South African justice. Ladies and gentlemen, before we dive into today's gripping story, take a moment to subscribe to this channel for more breaking news, in-depth analysis, and stories that matter to you. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest updates from around the world. Now, let's jump into the story that has captured the attention of South Africa and beyond. Bonginkosi Khanyile, a name that has echoed through the halls of activism and controversy, has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. This decision marks a significant moment in South Africa's justice system, a case that has been closely watched from its inception. Khanyile, a prominent figure during the 2016 #FeesMustFall protests, has long been a polarizing personality. Known for his fiery speeches and unrelenting stance against what he deemed systemic injustices, Khanyile became a symbol of resistance for many. However, his actions during the protests, deemed unlawful by the courts, have now culminated in a decade-long prison term. The sentence has sparked mixed reactions, with some hailing it as a necessary step toward accountability and others decrying it as a harsh punishment that stifles the voice of dissent. The #FeesMustFall protests, which swept across South Africa's universities, were a pivotal moment in the country's democratic landscape. Students demanded free, decolonized, and quality education, rallying under slogans that resonated with the frustrations of a generation. Khanyile, a key figure in these demonstrations, stood at the forefront, calling for change and challenging the status quo. However, the protests were not without controversy. Incidents of violence, vandalism, and clashes with law enforcement tarnished the movement's image for some, and Khanyile's involvement in these altercations became central to his case. The court found Khanyile guilty of public violence, incitement to commit violence, and failure to comply with police instructions. The judge, in delivering the sentence, emphasized the importance of upholding the rule of law and ensuring that actions taken in the name of activism do not cross the line into criminality. For many, this judgment serves as a reminder that while the right to protest is enshrined in South Africa's constitution, it must be exercised responsibly. But the story does not end here. Khanyile supporters, including some political allies and activists, have vowed to challenge the sentence. They argue that the punishment is disproportionate and represents a broader attempt to silence voices that challenge authority. On the other hand, critics of Khanyile believe the sentence is a step toward restoring order and preventing future unrest. As South Africa grapples with this landmark case, questions linger about the balance between activism and accountability. Can a nation striving to address inequality and systemic injustice afford to suppress voices like Khanyile's, or is this a necessary step to maintain law and order? These are questions only time can answer, but one thing is certain: Bonginkosi Khanyile's sentence has reignited debates about justice, activism, and the limits of freedom in a democratic society. Before we wrap up, make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay informed about stories like this one. We'll continue to bring you updates on this case and many others that shape our world. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. This is more than just a story, it's a reflection of the challenges and complexities of living in a free society. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.